This is Pablo Picara. What we got here is a Maytag MVWB83DW3, about a year and a half old. Cost about well, tag's worn away. I think it was $550 or something like that, from Best Buy in Dallas. And the problem is that it doesn't, try to kick it on, the solenoid on the door tends to like clatter off and on. I don't know if we can get it to trigger this time. Oh, it's working okay there. Oop, I lifted the lid and didn't like that. So it's intermittent failure. Sometimes the door clicks and clacks, and it'll run for a while, then it'll cut off. I'm not doing it at the moment, it's intermittent. But according to several other YouTube channels, what you can do is you turn it off on the electronic controller, then you tap 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3 on there. It goes into diagnostic mode, and then it says F5E1, 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 and then you look up what those error codes mean. So we'll pop the lid open here in a minute and see what that's about, F5E1. So like some other dudes who've shown to pop the top up to take a look at the manual inside. You take a couple of these screws off back here that allow the front to be slid forward. I haven't taken the instrument panel cover off yet. I just initially want to see what the codes are. So you take this screw here, that screw there off, and then supposedly the front cover slides forward. Then you lift it up a little and you give it a wiggle there. You can see down in here there is a so we have error code E1E5, E1F5 rather. Well, here's the instructions, pressing the buttons to get the error code. Fault and error codes. I'm looking for E1F5. E1F5. Lid switch fault, lid is up. So you got a lid switch fault. That's what it's spitting out. Fault is displayed. The lid is locked state, but the lid switch is open. Control not sensing the strike in the lid lock. User presses start with lid open. The main control cannot detect the lid switch open and closing properly. Set test number 8, lid lock, page 20. We turn to page 20 in the manual. It says test number 8, lid lock. Perform the following checks if the washer does not lock or unlock. Check the lid by performing lid lock under test, service load control mode, and service diagnostic on mode on page 4. Put it into what they call service test mode. Test mode you put into by tapping the soil level button, I believe, and then you can go up, follow the book on page 4 that comes with the washer, hidden under the front cover. You can step through these test mode buttons here. Like number 0 is toggle lid lock, so you hit the temperature to go up to 000, you tap that, you can hear the solenoid click on the lid. Then for instance, to step to test 1 is toggle cold valve, so you set that to 0, tap this and it shuts the water valve, turns the water valve on, tap it again, turns it off. Cold hot water is number 2, so you can put it on 2, hit the hold start button, tap it again to cut that off. When we first put it in diagnostic mode, it kicked out an error number F5E1 and also F2E1. And then to jump out of this, I think you just hit the off button. People like to slide a putty knife under the front cover. I don't think it's that difficult to get the lid up and away. You just remove 2 screws off the back and the front cover will pop up for you. Then you can get at these little springs in here and give them a squeeze. I need to get a skinnier screwdriver in there. This little spring to pop through. Seems to be a pretty well top portion of it. Pops through. Definitely is easier than trying to shove a putty knife in. There we go. Takes a little bit of push in there. Now I'll let the lid back down. Control panel. Any other things hanging up here? A little bit of wiggling. As you've noticed on some of the other videos, this area right in here can get corroded, although that one doesn't look corroded at all. What I'll probably do here is I'm going to turn the power off, and then I'm going to slide all the different connectors off and on. Make sure they get good contact. Now I've unplugged the power out of this and let it energy drain out of the big holdover caps or filter caps or whatever they got in there. What we're going to do is, because we seem to have some potentially bad contacts here, just pop these out and slide them back in again, just to kind of break up any corrosion that might be in these contacts. Just kind of push your thumb on the little hold down clip a little, pull them back, shove them back in. This one here as well. There must be some little lock on there, can't quite tell. There it goes, pop that off, put it back on. Hopefully that helps a little bit. The other YouTubers said that this rinky-dink little $15 back cover cost $300 at the repair depot, which is insane, really. But see down in there, some of the other people have found corrosion down in this area. This one doesn't show any signs of corrosion. And these are water valves here. I doubt if they're having any trouble, but we'll slide them off and on just to break up any sort of thin oxidation layer. These are 120 volt coils most likely, so make sure it's unplugged before remove any energy from the system. Let's see if we can get this one to pop off here. Look at this rinky-dink garbage that they make these things with now. They used to just use a mechanical timer, which would last decades and decades and decades. Occasionally your timer motor would wear out, but after maybe 20 years or more. Connector. Clip. There we go. Pops out. Shove it back in there. These are the main power leads here. The mains. Not really likely. I'll just wiggle that one around. This one here goes off to somewhere unknown. Pull it off, shove it back on. Getting the error codes on here were lid lock switch not functioning properly, and the way we could test that is some of the leads on this one gives a diagnostic to check the resistance across that, which goes off to the lid lock and lid lock switch. The other error code was a little more vague, but has something to do with the control panel, vaguely referred to as F2E1 UI stuck button indicates the user interface is detecting that a button is continuously activated, which is functioning correctly. So we're taking a look at the page in the service manual here for lid lock resistances. We've got jumper 6, and they have a number on the contacts. However, back here on the actual wire, there's no numbering on it, so we just had to figure out from reverse figuring it out by taking a look at they have a list in here 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, no 6, and then 7. Take a look at the colors of those wires and then figure out from that what You need to check across. It says motor winding 35 ohms locked or unlocked across contact 2 and 3. So contact 2 and 3 are brown and black. Closing. So there we got 71 ohms, so that's about right. We started out zero, doesn't zero out at 0, it zeroes out at 40. And then it says it's supposed to be 35 ohms, so that's pretty close. Across pins 1 and 4, which is white and blue. So lock switch home. So we're going to try out pins 1 and 4. Something wrong with the lid switch, so we lifted up the lid here, take 2 screws off the back, and kind of pull the main top cover forward, up and back again. So we took this front lid switch and lock detector mechanism out of here. It takes a T15, held in with 2 T15 screws, and I mean, it's only a year and a half old, hasn't been used that much, but maybe something going wrong on the inside of it, who knows. Take a look in there and see what it looks like, just for kicks. There we go. Take a look inside this thing. There's a little piss-ass motor there, and a little rinky-dink looking slider switch. Looks like it's in fairly good condition, despite it being made very pathetically. I'm surprised it clicks so loudly. It's just a little, I thought it'd be a solenoid in there. It turns out it's a little teeny tiny motor running a rack and pinion kind of gear, and then a slider thing running down there. It's a little different than I expected, but don't know what we can determine from that rather shabbily made item. Set of contacts at the tip, and when it locks, it comes down to goes past a blank area on the slider contact and touches a different area, and then goes too far, passes up there. So it probably knows when it just passes there to cut the motor off. Really pathetic looking stuff. Just going to put the voltometer across the contacts in here and see if it looks like it's detecting it properly.